droids and bounty hunters, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no Disney, Star Wars fans of any kind, unless you're a Mandalorian fan, and then you're probably really pissed off right now. The rest of us are. Anyway, I linked in the description a link to a video on the Oscars channel that is now the place if you want to dump on Kathleen Kennedy. There you go. Okay. Hey, Dave. And I left a comment. Every comment I've seen has been pretty much aimed at Kennedy, not even about the topic of the video. It's hilarious. And if Dave wants to check out the link and put it in the chat, that'd be great. Morning, Takari. That'd be great. This tells me something. This tells me that it's not going away. This Gina Carano bullshit, which is what it is. Hey, Senator Dave, is not going anywhere. It is there, and it's there forever. I know last night in the Rancor pit that this may very well have killed the Mandalorian. And if that's the case, then it's killed Star Wars. I mean, everything Favreau and Filoni have been trying to do, what happens now? And that's really sad because what they were doing is very positive. The news we've been hearing, extremely positive. Now, Rangers of the New Republic has now been reported as being Carano's show. So probably was a flashback to the time of the rebellion, or maybe, something like the Seven Samurai, something like that. But it's just it's sad. It's really, really sad that this happens. And I think the thing that really upsets me is this. Kathleen Kennedy, is protected. She's got a force shield of bullshit. Oh, I know. They're. Let me say something. Whatever's going to happen as a result of this, if Kennedy is not removed, and the fans aren't given an explanation, it's over. It's over. We might as well, grab a hold of our EU books and, and shut down Lucasfilm. That's what that's what they should do. It's not making any money. It started to. She set that on fire. She did it deliberately. She did it because she was upset. She did it because we liked Mandalorian better than anything she put out there. The guys do a better job than the women do in this. I fully admit it. She wasn't the right woman to lead Lucasfilm. There were people that were left there, like Pablo Hidalgo, who couldn't wait to be set free, to do whatever the fuck they wanted. And they have set fire to the joint. They have helped her. They've spread the gasoline. They've chased fans away. They've bullied fans. They've harassed fans. But somehow, the reality of the situation, the echo chamber, it baffles me. Why? Why? You sit back and go, is this really a good way to run a business? No, it's not. It's going to destroy everything. I'll give you a little historical perspective. How many of you have actually seen the movie or the TV show Rome on HBO? The scene where Caesar has his triumph, his face is painted red, is going down the boulevard, the Appian Way. The crowds are immense. They're cheering. There's, of course, the slave behind him with the laurel thing above his head. And he goes up and he sits down. And then you see Vercingetorix. Now, Vercingetorix was a leader of the Gauls, the Gallic tribes. He was captured. He left. He was captured. He was brought back to Rome to take part in Caesar's triumph. Got to remember this. I want you guys to understand. When Caesar's in the chariot and they're having the triumph, the slave next to him is whispering, "All glory is fleeting." Okay. So he gets up there. He's up there, his face is painted red, surrounded by his allies and family. You know, I think Mark Antony, played by James Purefoy, is sitting next to him. And they bring out Vercingetorix. And he's tied up to this thing, this contraption. Brought up, crowd's silent. And the thing, the guy behind him, the executioner, hits the thing. You can barely, Caesar doesn't hardly even make a sound. He doesn't even make a nod. There's a moment, and boom, the thing strangles Vercingetorix to death. Vercingetorix is thrown after unceremoniously onto a trash pile, which kind of shows the lack of respect for humanity that the Romans themselves had. They dared to call the people they were fighting barbarians, and yet look at the way they lived. All glory is fleeting. What happens to Caesar, historically and in the show? He ends up being stabbed to death on the floor of the Senate by the entire Senate, almost. Right? I want you guys to remember that, because, and this is a Buddhist thing, but it's also, other religions have this too. What you throw out there tends to come back to you. Okay? The hubris, the pride. Hubris is the pretensions to the gods. That's the Greek. That's the Greek definition, the ancient, and that's why they use it. I think a lot of people who use it, who are on the left, don't understand what it means, because, you know, and I'm going to tell you this. What Kennedy did is remarkable hubris. It's remarkable pride. It's remarkable thinking that she could do no wrong, that they can't touch her. And we all know what comes around goes around. Blowback, karma. You know, you build up debt. God has a way of stomping on you in this life for being a jackass. Now, maybe it's being lonely. You have all the wealth in the world, but you don't have anybody who loves you. Maybe it's being ridiculed and mocked by millions, Kennedy. Or maybe it's, you know, basically having everything you did that was rotten to a person catch up to you, because it will catch up to her. How? I don't know. But I know it's a lovely thing. I went and commented on I think what we all should do is pick out specific videos that are talking about women, and then jump in and then take it over. Take it over to the point where they either have to shut down all the comments or suck it up, Buttercup. Okay? This is going to come back to bite her in the ass, I think. And I don't know. Hopefully Doomcock will come out with a video today. I pray. But something has to give. Let's see. It's 10:41 here. So it's 10:41, 9:41, 8:41, 7:41 in California. People are just waking up. Things are starting to go. This is usually the day announcements are made. Firings, hirings, new projects are announced. Always on Fridays. On Capitol Hill, this is the day that things get leaked to the press that you really don't want stretched out over the week. So keep your eyes open. I don't know what any announcement could be. I fear it could be Jon Favreau saying "fuck you, I quit. I'm going to Warner Brothers," or it could be Bob Chapek, sat down and talked to Kathy, and we all decided what's best is that she move on. The reality of the situation is such that Lucasfilm is in trouble, and it needs new leadership. And I mean, what do you tell her? You fucked up? That's what I would tell her. I would say, look at these comments. Look at this. They hate you. They hate you. You're not going to be protected anymore. We're not doing that anymore. We can't afford it. I'm a business person. I like to see money growing in people's accounts. I have to keep the investors happy, which means you keep the customers happy. And when they're not happy, look at these comments, then something's got to give. I'd show her the sales for High Republic. It's not working. Your publishing initiative isn't working. And I tell her, I don't know what you thought you were doing. I mean, Gina really did nothing wrong. Now, I disagree with her. Sam and Bob Iger. I disagree with her, Kathy. But she's also the best-selling and the biggest merchandise character we've got. That's who she plays. She brings in lots of money. Subscriptions to Disney Plus. All right? We need this to work. You shooting us in the legs, in the kneecap, the day before the investors meeting was bad. Okay? Our stocks are down now. We're in trouble. And you forced it. It's time that you really decide what you want to do. Okay? And she'll scream and yell and rant and rave and threaten all sorts of stuff. And I'd say, look, you've already done all you can. You've already done all you can. All right? I'm worried. Bob Iger right now. I'm worried about John leaving. I don't know. I think probably, actually, Dave, the word on the street is that before this all became public, Lucasfilm told Hasbro to stop making the Cara Dune figures. Okay. And this whole thing smacks of lashing out. All right, the lashing out, scorched earth, and Gina, by being a very outspoken woman, put herself out there. Now, a lot of people will disagree with me and say she shouldn't have done it. Why? We live in the United States of America. She has every right to say what she said. If she doesn't have the right to say anything, then anybody else who works at Lucasfilm needs to keep their mouth shut too about politics. All right? Or go into hidden Twitter. All right? Here's the deal. I would make a rule. Oh, aren't you lucky? Guess what happened to mine? They're not coming. They're not. They scrapped the shipment, so I'm not getting one. It really pissed me off too, by the way. Here's the thing. I would make it a company-wide rule that anybody with a social media account like Twitter should either go into hidden mode, secure mode, so if you're talking about something that'll rile people up or controversial, the entire planet won't see it. Or you don't have a Twitter account. Period, full stop. In fact, I'd say I'd like it very much if you all disconnected from Twitter completely. And the reason simply is this. We will avoid this garbage in the future. Okay? That's what I would say. But back to Kennedy, I would say, what more can you do? What more could you possibly do to destroy this? And what was your purpose? Why would you do that? You know, if, speaking as me, everybody screws up, right? Everybody screws up. This is not a rare thing for her. All right? For her, for anybody. Everybody fails at something. How many of us have been fired from jobs? I mean, we can all raise our hands. When we were kids and stupid and did something wrong, screwed up, didn't listen correctly to an order, or, you know what I'm saying? We've all had that issue. We've all failed tests. We've all failed, I remember trap shooting, and I was on my way to 100 straight again, and it was a straightaway, and if I had gotten that, we would have won that tournament by one bird. It went up like a balloon. I could have hit it with a rock. I missed it. We all fuck up. Okay? Man of War lost one race, for crying out loud. All right? It's a normal thing of humanity that this happens. Failure, according to everybody, is your best teacher. Don't do that again. I mean, you look at what Thomas Edison said about failing when he was making the light bulb. I failed blah, blah, blah many times until I hit the right one. All right? You're not going to be perfect. The idea that she can walk around, pretend that she broke some sort of glass ceiling and she didn't. Let's talk about that. This is my favorite thing about Kennedy. She's treated like she's the first female head of a studio. Insert laugh track. Sherry Lansing, Dawn Steele, and all of that. There were many women before her that have been heads of studios. There are many women that'll come later. She is not a glass ceiling breaker at all. I mean, there's nothing special about her taking over Lucasfilm. I mean, the video from yesterday, the reaction video to Return of the Jedi, how many women were in there? How many black women? How many white women? How many just women in general? Lots. Women don't respond to Luke Skywalker and Han Solo. Well, they sure did. They sure did. She's a liar. She's not the first in anything, and she's making these things up. And I think the reason why is because she never understood what she was doing. She didn't, I've known women like her, you all know that, in my life, and I've never understood them. And to my dying day, I never will. They are a puzzle that I do not want to solve. I want to see that puzzle go away. I really do. They're bad for the world. They're the ones that go up and ask a coach, why isn't my son starting? And the kid can't throw a football. He can't play his position. He's just, you know what I'm saying? He's not good enough to start. There are lots of times when people are in that. I couldn't play. I couldn't run. I was a terrible basketball player. Soccer, I just didn't like that. Trap shooting, I kick your ass. I'll kick your ass all over the line. I'll crush you. But on stuff like that, no. Everybody finds their own thing that they're good at, that God gives them. Whatever you believe in, you all have gifts. My voice was my gift. Now it's gone. I've had other ones. I had to develop other ones. There's something everybody can do. Okay? Kathy Kennedy doesn't understand that. They should, yeah, I think they should, Carl. In fact, I'm going to start using that. Okay, Kathy. Okay, Kathleen. All right, I am going to start using that. Yeah, you're right, John 42. I mean, it's women like her that created the participation trophy generation, the millennials, and more than one or two Zoomers I know that, you know, really aren't that special. But mommy and daddy sure make sure, you know, it's like, and why? Because they're guilty. That mommy and daddy are guilty for some reason, or they've got this mania to protect them, or something like that. And, you know, but back to Kennedy. I've known women like her my whole life. My whole life. They're phony. They're phony. They've never done anything worth their they've never done anything worth their own good opinion of themselves, if you know what I mean. And I'm looking at her going, do you not understand the reality of the situation? And they're protecting her. Why? You know why? I mean, it's shocking to me. You know, and look at the comments on all these videos. It's not Fandom Menace. It's the Star Wars fandom at large. You know, and she did this deliberately. Let me explain something about women. Women like her in particular. Very vindictive, very envious, very jealous, and will lash out. They will try to ruin what's going on because they're not getting their way. Ta-da, guess what we're getting now? You know, and you can't run a business like that. You can't, I mean, you know, you girls out there, how many of us have had friends, so-called, who have done that to us? All right, this is what's going on. Okay, this is a woman acting like she's in the middle of a sorority fight and trying to you know, talking behind each other's backs, setting up little cliques, you know, doing all this stuff, and it's very oh God, what's that phrase? It's very passive aggressive. It's not in your face. Guys are in your face. You know, if this was a man running Lucasfilm, screwing it, well, he'd be gone. But if it was, yeah, there'd be board fights. There would be knocked down, dragged out, board fights going on between him and Favreau. Okay, no shit. But no, we've got this little passive aggressive shit going on. And that's how you know it's a woman behind it. Because women are terrified to get in each other's faces. They don't do it. Because when they do it, you know, it's ugly. It's really, really, really ugly. But there are times when women who are getting the brute, the shit end of the stick, like Gina right now, like us female fans getting erased from the history of Star Wars because in Kathy Kennedy's mind we didn't exist. It's time for us to fight back. If I saw her right now, I would drag her over, show her the comments on the Oscars thing, and say, "You are literally the most hated woman in the world. Do you understand? I am not here to protect you. I'm here to shove the truth in your face. Go away. You know, you don't need, why do you need this? These are the, and this is the thing, is why does she need this? She's got all the money in the world. She's got, you know, she could go and pretend that she's the most powerful woman in Hollywood, and she's not anymore. I defy anybody to prove that to me anymore. She's not. I mean, Cameron Pasha, when he says there are people out there, very high profile producers, saying she screwed up to him, that she's a failure to him, you know, people think twice about wanting to work with her. They're not going to say it out loud because, oh my God. But still, the truth is she fucked up. She's a total mess. She's made a mess of everything. Iger, let her. Now, he can sit there and take the blame all he wants. But, yeah, we won't. And I mean, it's not just Fandom Menace. It's not just our loosely affiliated, channels anymore. It's everybody. Yeah, I mean, that's her. She is a passive-aggressive cultural terrorist, is what she is. Or as Doomcock would call them, and her, a cultural vandal. I go right out and say terrorist. You don't walk into a place. I gotta go get my nose. Let me go, you don't walk into a place, your job, and decide, I don't like this because there's too many men. I'm gonna set it on fire. All right? You sit there and you think, this is a good thing. These characters are loved. They're loved. How do we add to it without changing it? But of course, what she did, she started this gas fire, this trash fire, when they made TFA, and it made. Last night on Rancor Pet, somebody said TFA didn't make any money, and TFA did make money. Gross $2.3 billion, and it probably netted about $750 million. All right, that doesn't sound like a lot of money, but you got to remember all the costs involved. And really, I mean, when you're talking about the stars, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, how much did they get off the top? I mean, besides their contract. Think about it. I mean, the movies, according to Walt Disney, were the gateway to advertisement for the parks. Ultimately, that's what they were for. Sleeping Beauty's Castle, you've got that at Disney World and Disneyland. All of it. There's themes from all the movies they've ever made. The movies are advertisements. Bringing in J.J. Abrams, and I blame him a lot for the sequel trilogy. He was the mastermind. My dog is smarter than he is, by the way. My horse is too. He doesn't know how to make an in-depth story. He's not a Star Wars fan, no matter how much he protests. We all know that. And oh, Hazrat, hi! I haven't seen you around here before. Welcome to the cantina. This was a team effort. But Kennedy, promising George she'd protect his baby, did nothing. Did none of the sort. He did none of the sort. She just went on, and then when the movie made, TFA made $2.3 billion. Then she got to run the studio as she saw fit, and voila, she drove it into the ground. And now we've got, and I'm going to tell you this Gina Carano reaction is a result, ultimately, because they can sit there and say, well, the Holocaust, blah, blah, blah. That's an excuse. That's an excuse. Okay? They were looking for an excuse, but it's not a good reason to fire anybody, in my opinion. There's nothing anti-Semitic about it at all. And you want to know what? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. This wasn't a reaction to the fact that Mandalorian was doing well. How do you kill it? You go after the actors. You go after Jon Favreau, if he was on there on Twitter saying stuff that wasn't quite sensitive enough. He's already run into that stuff back during Iron Man 2. And for anybody out there who says, well, he should stick up for her, you want to see something good happen? Leave him out of this. Okay, I'm sure she has told him, don't come to my defense. I'm sure she told Pedro Pascal, don't come to my defense. In fact, that's a rumor out there that she told Carl Weathers, Bill Burr, which I'm sure would have probably has a lot to say. All right. It's ultimately Kennedy trying to ruin something somebody else did because her effort is a joke, is a meme. The High Republic is a meme. All right. That is not a compliment, by the way. Hey, Miguel. And it is literally when I think about this is all in reaction to the fact High Republic is a joke. Period. Go look at the sales. You can look at Amazon bestsellers. None of it's there. The New York Times bestseller, #1, that's editorial. That is not how much they're actually selling. Okay, it was chosen to be quote unquote #1, but it's really not #1. It's like the book they chose is like was number 65. I don't know where it is now, but it would be interesting to find out. Hey, Gruntilda. But what do they do? If you're running Disney, what do you do? I know, I didn't either. But when you got someone who's a political fanatic, who's a fanatic about her lady parts, like, or whatever she thinks they are, like Kathy Kennedy, and you've got others who parrot everything she says, who believe in that same garbage, that dumpster fire logic, you're not going to succeed. You're eventually going to fail. And, you know, the fact that I do believe she's threatened people. I do believe that she's, you know, this is her setting everything on fire. It feels like someone's on the way out the door. And, you know, she doesn't want anybody. I mean, you know, she might be looking at Momita Sen-Gupta and maybe Michelle Rejwan saying, they're going to take my job. They're doing my job. All right? And maybe that's another thing that she's trying to ruin everything on her way out the door. Maybe. It's okay, Gruntilda. I don't, you know, say whatever you want. I mean, I don't have a problem. This is a cantina. You know, we're not, right, I mean, this is not for children. So don't, whatever. I'm flabbergasted that no one has sat down with her and showed her what people really think of her. That no one sat down and showed her the sales, the net box office. She has to be aware of net box office. I mean, come on. Come on. That no one's sat down and said, Kathy, it could be as simple as, you can't fire me, I'm a whammon. I'm Favin Filoni. I am. I like what they're doing. You know, that it could, I mean, but it could be simply that. I mean, but as my friend Dan Watanabe says, she has the goods on whoever was on the set during the Twilight Zone movie when Vic Morrow and those kids were killed. You know, and well, that Dakari, and she could this is what I think, and I can't remember who said it now, but I was listening to another YouTube channel, and they were saying that it could be that they're not bringing anybody to replace Kennedy. She's just, that position's gone. And they're going to have a CFO, Mohsen Gupta, Michelle Rejwan, doing all that, doing the day-to-day production stuff, overseeing budgets and finances and, licenses and all the, the permits to film and stuff like that. Meanwhile, Favreau and Filoni are the creative team. What this means is that if there's anybody in publishing, they may get the boot. Okay, this is the reason why the story group is so, right now, they know if Kennedy goes, they're done. They're done. All right. First off, publishing is very tiny in the world of Lucasfilm right now. It's meaningless. The comics aren't selling. I mean, God, they canceled the Rise of Skywalker comic. They canceled Dr. I Hate Men Afra and others. No one wants this shit. Yet here we are. I mean, I would think I would have gotten on the phone the moment that story, they didn't have, and there still isn't really an official word from Disney, the story that Gina was, quote unquote, not working at Lucasfilm and wouldn't in the future because she's a racist, sexist, homophobic, bigot, anti-Semite. That's what the whole thing was. That was slander right there. And the reason why the person said it under anonymous is so they can't be sued. All right? I wouldn't be happy. You go to Galaxy's Edge and there's no sequel trilogy stuff. There's no stuff at all. Right? I mean, I wonder if Kennedy is trying desperately to get Hasbro to create a toy line for the Stoned Republic. I mean, what? I mean, what? So we could take them out and do mean things to the characters, to the figures, if we get one. So Ethan Van Sciver can mock it and run it over with his car, with his SUV, so I can throw one into the fire pit. There goes Avar Chris, poof. I mean, but she might be doing that. But again, her reaction to Gina Carano is that of a jealous teenage girl. Kathy knows she's not popular. Kathy used to be popular. Kathy's not popular anymore. Gina, she went from, was it 59 on IMDb to #1? That's huge. That's huge, by the way. And it's a PR nightmare for Disney. That had to piss her off. I mean, the reaction to Gina is that of a jealous teenage girl. And that's true. You're right. You're exactly right, Dave. Oh, I would too. I wouldn't quit making them. I'd put them on eBay. I would be like, we can sell, all right, they sell for, Black Series sells for what, $20 a piece here in the United States. I put them on eBay for 40. They would make their money back, and the collectors would have what they want. Everybody be happy, and Disney wouldn't be making a dime. I think, I do too, Gruntilda. And I told Mazarius, if he jumps in, that I'm very, very, very antsy right now. I really feel like there's something big coming. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm going to see this goddamn thing through. She cannot be allowed to continue doing what she's doing. I don't give a shit about her power and all the rest of that garbage, which is all a bunch of lies. She's bad for business. I'm using the mob term, bad for business, you know. But it was also, not only was her reaction to Gina, because Cara Dune's way better than Ray. Her reaction to Gina, that of an angry, petulant, jealous teenage girl, it's also Machiavellian. It you know, grumble. I couldn't tell that maybe CERN did destroy the galaxy. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm really. It's Machiavellian. I mean, and that means a woman actually is a clever person. But how clever is she really? You know what? I mean, you can't continue to make garbage for a company, not be able to sell it, and then act like the fans love it. All right? The idea that Disney is afraid of a bunch of bot accounts, and that's what they are, on Twitter is staggering to me. It is absolutely staggering to me. Oh, here's another thing that Disney's got to worry about, because they may or may not be impervious to this kind of thing like they used to be. Do you remember the whistleblower? The SEC whistleblower that said they were cooking books? She's suing Disney now. This was in the Orlando Sentinel. Pirates and Princesses just put it up there, for legal fees and her back pay. The story is that when she made the complaint, she got sick. She went on medical leave. Came back a month later, they fired her. The woman's husband killed himself in March, committed suicide. So she's had a really, really shitty year. I mean, you know, so that's there now. So now Chapek and Iger have that to worry about. Do they have the herd of high-powered lawyers to protect them? I don't know. I mean, do they? We'll see what happens. I mean, if we don't hear any more about it, they probably paid her a few million to shut her up, made her sign an NDA, and then that's it. Okay. Yeah, well, you know, who said that? John, it's very interesting to me. She was always in the background, if you know what I mean. She was always in the like there, but really I remember, was it Temple of Doom or was it Last Crusade, when she was on one of the panels with Spielberg and a lot of other people. Harrison Ford wasn't there, and neither was Sean Connery. If it was that, I can't remember. And he was making fun of her. I mean, what does she do? You know, these are the things. And, you know, she get hired by, you know, Clint Eastwood. And there were some other people, some other producers and big names that are on her resume that are kind of like, you know, all men, not one woman, all men. Her resume was built by very creative guys who made guy stuff. Okay? You know, stuff that, you know, boys like and tom girls like. They're tomboys like me. And that's, like I said, she's a phony. I mean, I've known women like her my whole life. Run around saying, look at all the stuff I did. And then you realize she didn't do a damn thing. She didn't do anything. She literally, she didn't build this. She didn't set up the business. She didn't know what she was doing on that. It was that guy there, and that guy there. With, Raiders of the Lost Ark, it was George Lucas's vision. It was his story. They got Larry Kasdan, and I'm not a fan of Larry Kasdan. I don't like him. I don't. He doesn't get. He doesn't get Star Wars. He doesn't get George Lucas at all. He wrote the script. They rode him like a racehorse. Oh, yeah, well, and you're right. I mean, it's her husband is the reason why she's been so successful. I don't know if you guys know this. I've mentioned it before, but let me mention it again. Who here knows who Michael Franzese is? He is a former capo regime to the Colombo crime family. He went to prison for 8 years for tax evasion on gas tax. And when you look at how they scammed the government, it's actually, my libertarian sense of humor kind of goes, the only people getting hurt are the bureaucrats. He wrote a book about his experiences in the mob, being a made man, being an associate, or being a made man, being a soldier, being a capo, and what happened after when he got convicted, and how he broke away from the life. He wrote a book called Blood Covenant. It's being made into a TV show series by the Kennedy Marshall Company. All right, just gonna let you guys. All right. My thing is this. Why doesn't she go back, work at her company with her husband? Okay? Instead of harassing the fans, driving people away, setting everything on fire at Lucasfilm. Oh yeah, I mean, if Sammy Gravano, they're actually supposed to have a sit down, him and Franzese, one of these days. So be on the lookout on YouTube, because that's gonna be pretty cool. Be very interesting. Why doesn't, this is, to me, that's gonna be a good show. What I'm worried about, let's say she does go back. Let's say like she leaves Lucasfilm, goes and starts working at, doing her job at Kennedy Marshall, and decides to woke Blood Covenant. Michael is a pretty cool guy. He's very, he's, paid his dues. But I would, if she tried to do anything like that to Blood Covenant, get in the witness protection program, that would piss him off. I mean, but this looks like it's a Frank thing. Frank has a way of seeing things that might be actually good, that may actually work, and this should work. I mean, I'm really looking forward to actually seeing this. But as far as anything that she's done without him, it's a joke. It's a joke. And I'm going to say it's the only reason why TFA was any good, or TFA made any money, is everybody on the planet wanted to see Han Solo again. But what they did to the character started the Star Wars crash and burn. All right, that's where it started. And then the Skywalker, the rape of the character in TLJ was the moment of, my God, they really do hate these guys. And of course, what they did to Leia, you know, the Hillary Clinton of the galaxy, it's just gross. It's just, you know, and it was all under her. It was all under her. You know, yeah, I mean, everything good that she's done is with her husband. Everything awful has been on her. It's I mean, you know, it's kind of like this. When I was in college, I was taking a painting class, and I thought I was doing pretty well. And I did a painting of two ducks sitting on a pond, and I thought I did their eyes really well. It was actually, I don't know who he is, but I don't watch that show. I like Star Wars Theory, but I barely watch his channel. I go there when he's got something interesting. But anyway, he gave me a C for the class. The instructor did, and told me I was a bad artist. All right, I never painted again. I found something else to do. You know, maybe he was wrong. All right, but you know, I don't know. Okay. I was in a place where I was taking a lot of criticism hard, but and it wasn't like Kennedy's, hey Dominique, it wasn't like Kennedy's failures. You know what I'm saying? Kennedy's failures are like, I can't, you know, and it goes on and on and on and on. This phony, she's the first Whammon studio head. No, she's not. There's no glass ceiling to break. It's already been broken. It was broken back in the fucking 80s. So stop it right now. Okay? By very serious, badass women who understood you have to be able to play it in Peoria. If you know what, that's an old saying, I think, from Louis B. Mayer. Will it play in Peoria? Because if it fails there, the movie's gonna bomb. And ta-da! You know, it's just, to me, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I know there's something coming on. I feel it in my gut. You know, I really like it, like, you know, oh, Doomcock, please post a video today. Please, we're begging you. Please post a video today. I need, yeah, and Lucille Ball was the head of Desilu. I mean, but Kathleen Kennedy is the first studio head. Hey, Pocket, you know what? Just when I want to shut down, because I've got Squeaky the dog behind me going, let me out. It's just really, yeah, I don't, yeah, you know, we've got, let's see, Lucille Ball, the head of Desilu. We've got Sherry Lansing, Dawn Steele, and others. Directors, we've got tons of female movie directors. You know, and it's like, but you're the first. I mean, like I said this yesterday, the woman is crazy. She's got something wrong up here. I mean, seriously. She's, but yeah, Barbara Broccoli, you're right. I mean, you know, how can you sit there and say these things knowing full well none of it's true? And then, I mean, do you think people are noticing? Or are they too afraid to say to your face, no, you're not number one. You weren't the first one. Lucille Ball was, Barbara Piccoli. You know, I mean, you know, it's just stunning to me, but I'm, you know, I really do think that there's going to be something big happening. Yeah, Mary Pickford. I mean, Mary Pickford. That was back in the 20s. I mean, in 30s. You know, it's like, it's time to stop pretending. All right, it's time to stop trying to rewrite history. It's time to address the narcissism of this woman. All right, Disney, please. Oh yeah, Amanda Tapping. I mean, you know, it's time to get control of the situation. If Disney's watching, if Doomcock is right, and they're watching, Kennedy has to go. Period. Full stop. We, you know, because the fans that are pissed off right now, look at the Oscar page, look at all the comments. They're not going away. You can't protect her anymore, so stop it. Tell her the truth. Show her this. And tell her the idea that all these people are somehow racist, sexist, homophobic bigots is bullshit. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of comments, thousands of people commenting, saying things that are upset at you. You look like a hypocrite. And what you did was for no other reason than you were upset. You were jealous. You were envious. Your pride couldn't handle that you failed. And that's all it is. That's all this is. All right? I'm stunned a woman nearing the age of 70 could be this petty. But wait, she's a woman. Okay, I understand now. All right, yeah, I'm a woman too. Yeah, you know. But I understand because I know women can be that petty because I've seen it. I've had it aimed at me. All right? Okay? I know what it's like to be singled out like Gina has been. Because you can't... Oh, thank you, Gruntilda. You can't be an honest female without having other females who don't want to hear it get pissed off. You can't. At you. They don't want to hear it. You can't, you know, get popular on your own without them trying to sabotage you. You can't. That's what they did to Gina. That's exactly what they did to Gina. We all saw it happen. You know. So anyway, all right, I gotta go because I'm gonna grab something to eat and then take the dog out. You all have a good day. If something does happen, that's good. Oh yeah, she has been, and it's time for that to stop. She's done 2 end-arounds now, both Iger and Chapek, getting Leslie Headland's thing going into quote-unquote development, which will never see the light of day, and then firing Gina. I mean, when it said it went over Favreau's head, I'm like, who? You know, anyway, I gotta go. But I'll talk to y'all later. See you around the galaxy. If anything big happens today, I'll be back. See y'all around.